superpowers. Woo! Make a list. Come on, Lynn. Write down 10 superpowers. I'm holding his pen.
I got 4. And
Oh, now I'm getting them. Now I'm on a roll.
Alright, so while we're doing that, I will plug in everybody who's here.
I can just sign in.
Yeah, I forgot to set it up, so I'm on it.
Okay. I win. No.
Oh, Megan's gonna get signed in twice.
Because
I only put UL instead of her name.
What the heck is Superman? Oh, never mind. I got it.
Alright. Okay, we have 3 more names. This is a good test for me. See if I remember everybody's last names. I got first. How we doing?
I'm frozen.
I did put that in.
I did.
I
put
did.
freeze.
Freeze.
Yeah.
You're cheating.
Thank you. I was down.
Okay, that whole scene's going through my head now. Name that movie.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Yes, I was.
As soon as he said, "Where's my soup?"
Where's my soup?
I should watch
It's
this.
one of my favorite movies.
It's a great movie.
It is.
You need to watch that movie, Carrie.
Did they make a second one too?
Not
They're
yet.
going to.
Not yet.
I can't wait until Finding Dory comes out.
Yeah. No, that would be good too.
Just keep moving.
Toy Story 4? Are you serious?
I
I
couldn't-
can't believe
I
they're
know.
doing a fourth.
They should have been done on
I
one.
thought Andy was
Nothing.
gone.
Andy went to
And-
college, man.
But now they have that little girl. They're gonna do something with
Yeah,
the
they
little
do.
girl that he gave all the dolls to.
Oh jeez.
I thought it was gonna be Andy went to the nursing home or something.
Or Andy got married. Andy had kids.
Right.
Wants his toys back.
Okay, top 10. So, I got this from the top10s.com. Best superpowers. Let's go down to top number 10 and we'll go from number
Freeze.
Do you want the screen frozen
No,
still?
I know. Okay. Because they go into why is it number 10?
Oh jeez.
Okay? You don't need to see all that. Alright, number 10, shape-shifting.
Oh darn it.
Is that like?
Shape-shifting is
never would've thought.
Is that like?
I was thinking like Harry
I
Potter
so
or
don't have his
shapeshifter.
You can shape-shift into something else with the ability to have any other power.
Darn.
So really, shapeshifters can transform themselves to be able to do anything,
Wonder
everything else.
You would think that would be number one.
You would think. Alright, so that was number 10.
All of them do that.
Number 9, control gravity.
Oh,
Really?
Would that be
yeah.
like
That'd be
flying,
terrible
or
at
would that
Would that be like telekinesis?
Yeah, that's
That's
on
No,
what
that's
I
going
was
back
thinking.
one place to the other.
No, that's
No,
teleporting.
Oh, teleporting.
Telekinesis is
That's the one
Too
where
late,
you
it's
can
6 o'clock.
if you
I'm
want.
tired.
However,
Like
unlike
Matilda.
telekinesis, gravitational manipulation would not require constant concentration. Once a direction and level of
Matilda,
force
right?
was applied, the user could step
I
back
love
and
that
let
movie.
physics
I
do
do
the
this
rest.
on the other day.
Mind reading.
Alright,
There you go.
healing ability, the ability to heal.
Ooh, I want
That's
that.
Yeah.
That is the superpower I
Mind
want.
control.
You wanna break out our prize bag?
Yep. Forgot about the prize bag.
Teleportation!
Nope.
Got it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Thank you, Nightcrawler.
Alright, super speed. speed.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's one.
Control all matter.
Would that be reading?
Would that be telepathy?
That means you could like turn things into other
You
things.
control atoms, you manipulate stuff. and turn it into
So like
something else.
strength? No.
So like strength.
So like if you're really tight on cash and needed some food, you could just use your powers to make some.
That's how
That'd
we
be
have our
awesome.
cash.
Like I'm thinking Big Mac.
That's
You are a big man. Right.
I'm thinking Big Mac.
Who needs a grocery store? Number 4, invisibility.
Oh my gosh, why did I
didn't
not
even
have
think of
that?
that.
Oh my
I know.
I win.
gosh. That's so sad.
Alright, number 3 is omnipotence.
What is that?
that?
Omnipotence.
To do anything,
Please do explain.
kind of like a god.
Yeah.
Hercules?
Yeah.
Create new dimensions, bring people back from the dead, know the future, the options
Dang,
are
okay.
limitless.
So you're gone.
Alright,
So
number
strange.
2, telekinesis.
Got it.
Being
Isn't that
able to
already on
do things with your mind powers.
Like Matilda.
Matilda.
Oh, I have
Wait,
that.
wasn't that already on there?
Matilda.
Oh
You don't-
my
Matilda.
Oh
I actually know this one.
Oh my gosh,
Favorite.
my mind.
That's
Me.
You need to go
Okay,
shelter,
you
but
need to
like-
go home.
I know! Straight up! You guys are gonna
You need to go home and watch it with Hannah.
You
good one.
watch The Incredibles.
Okay.
I will watch Matilda.
I
Like,
can't believe you've
Matilda,
never
the little
seen
girl?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess
Never
I
mind.
never realized that she had telekinesis powers.
Think about it. She
That's a
stops
whole
when her
movie.
brother throws the carrot at her. She looks right at it and stops it and
Turns
Okay.
around.
I guess
Spins it
I
back
never
on him.
really actually paid attention to the-
I watched it. It's fine. It was on.
Alright,
love
number
that
1. It's a really long explanation.
Uh-oh.
Time control.
Really?
What about like flying and strength and
That's
laser
exactly where my
and
mind would have
freezing
been.
You
and
can
Super
fight
stretch.
like Neo from The Matrix.
That movie was lame.
In a world with
think I fell asleep
superpowers, no one
every
can
time I watched
outmatch you and you can do almost anything they can do. In a world with normal people, you can freeze time and do whatever you want. And then it says you frozen. This should keep you occupied for a couple months.
Oh, that would be great to like take a nap during the workday. I was thinking
Ooh,
how
yeah.
tired I was today.
That's how I was. That's how I've been the last 2 days.
I almost fell
Like Greg
asleep
yesterday in the
typing.
meeting.
Great. Yeah, Greg Arietta in our EA meeting. All of a sudden everyone's head turns and I
Oh
look
my
and Greg's
goodness.
sitting there sleeping.
He
I could
wants
see
me
that.
to stop playing the Xbox when he gets home.
He said he was watching Walking Dead like
Uh-oh.
late at night.
Binge watching Walking Dead.
It's okay to do that.
On the weekend.
So Sunday night is
Alright, raise your hand if you.
What was it?
What, that was 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was lame.
That was time.
Sorry.
like not strength, stretch,
Alright, raise your hand if you got.
flying.
What should we go the bottom up or?
Bottom
Seven
up
to zero.
probably.
Alright, who got 0?
That would have been me.
You held the pen.
Winner!
You held the pen.
Don't need your prize.
You get a prize for having 0, right? I think we need to do
I got something good for you.
Zero the hero.
Oh, a
Oh,
sticker.
yeah,
That's a good
sticker.
one. That's a good prize.
I like it.
Right here.
Alright.
I'll put it with my star.
On your fridge?
Yep.
Okay. Who got 2? I skipped 1. Who got 1? Sorry about that.
3. No, I got 2.
So we had 3 for 2. Who got 3? Ooh, 4?
4.
Wow.
5.
5.
Anyone get
6.
That might have been it.
Oh, I only have 4, sorry. I
Oh.
my hand up too long. It's been a
She's
long
gonna
day.
keep my hand up, maybe
What
that'll
is
give me a
7.
prize.
Did anybody get 7? Did anybody get more than how many?
4.
4?
Dirk.
Well,
and Jenny.
Dirk and Jenny
So-
got 4.
See,
You
so
know,
0
I had
is
it, I had it last time. Jenny had it.
Oh, what a team.
Well, we have
player.
plenty.
Yeah.
I had
Dirk, I
4,
really like how
but
you
one of them was kind of.
How you're
Pencil or
going to
pointer?
sandbox, right?
Alright, pencil or
I
pointer?
can't believe strength
I'll
wasn't
take
on
a
there.
pencil.
I know, right? Come
Or
on. Super
stretch.
strength.
Flying, nothing.
Flying.
No
about
flying, like-
Nothing about mind control or
Hypnosis.
reading mind.
Yeah.
I did
X-ray
mind
vision.
reading.
Right?
Super
I know.
excited.
I had like Aquaman where you can hold your breath
Wrong
underwater.
Wrong list. I
Bulletproof.
just went, oh, here's
For
the
some
list.
reason I had
Gilly,
slicers of
like,
hands, like
Extending limbs.
Yeah, stretch Armstrong.
Well, that's where the
Oh,
healing
yeah.
power had to come in. I was thinking
Oh,
about
what am I thinking of?
I would
But
be.
You should take a pencil.
Pointer or pencil?
Or a pointer for your kids at school.
Or what's it
Can I
called when
whack
like you can
knuckles?
listen to other people's
Kelsey, have you seen
conversations?
Kingsman?
Oh, that's
What's it called?
Eavesdropping,
There's a girl in
Megan.
there that has like super
I don't know, but I wouldn't want that one.
Is that like the MI6
Too distracting, and I'd be so offended if someone was talking about me.
I've not seen that yet.
Get stuck.
It's good until the end where they get a little dirty humor,
I will
then
watch
it's
that
like,
later.
So that'll be a not the kids movie.
oh no, definitely not a kid's movie.
How do I put a pen?
But I think you tried to sleep in a waterbed then.
The next on our agenda, instructional strategies, curriculum, and resources. We've got an hour left to cover that, and then talking about collaboration. So again, this will be, we had a movement activity in there. We'll kind of have to gauge time and gauge conversation. We've had really good conversation tonight and questions, I think. So we'll just kind of feel it out as we go.
I will be sharing, I will add several of these slides to the links.
Get out of the way of the camera.
Presentation that I gave you guys. So don't feel like you need to write any of this stuff down.
No, I moved it, because you're
We will share with you some of it, you probably already know. So basically what we wanted to do with instructional strategies, curriculum resources, is really give you the people you need to connect with for certain resources, so that you can access their expertise.
Because anytime the topic comes up for us, we're like, where do we begin? I mean, there's just so
There's so
much.
many strategies,
Yep.
and so many different routes we could go.
Everyone's in a very different situation from the other.
So we wanted to give you at least a brief overview, try not to overwhelm you. So these next few slides, I know we already hit that point of overwhelmation.
I had a teacher in a meeting with the principal yesterday who told me that she feels she has to go out on a limb and support me by providing curriculum. I felt like saying, "Good job, dumbass," but I didn't.
Good job reining that in. So, building level curriculum, you should be able to have access to the building level curriculum and grade level curriculums at each of your building. If they don't have copies of something, you can check with any lead for the department or grade level, or your lead teacher, the principal. If they don't have it, Anna Ray is your gal. Call her, she will locate it. We have a library, okay, it's not really a library, it's a storage room of stuff that they are sorting through, and it's right off one of my classrooms, and it is full of stuff. So, any requests for curriculum would be greatly welcome, because that means more
But
stuff
just
gets
because there's a giant room full of stuff doesn't mean that stuff has specific things in it.
I have
I
heard,
understand.
but Anna Ray makes it sound like if there's something, we have it. If there's something
If there's something you
from
need, so like
general ed,
if
we
it's
have it.
general ed math curriculum, and you're looking for specific things to meet specific standards, she will find it for you.
I mean, she's very, very thorough, so I don't have any doubts that she will find something.
So as we're moving towards those standard base items, if you have a student who's a 5th grader and is reading at a 2nd grade level, and you wanna use the 2nd grade level curriculum to address that, the regular ed curriculum, so that you're meeting those standards, and they don't have a copy, you connect with Anna Ray, she will find that for you. Megan, you had a question?
What if our teachers aren't using a curriculum, aka kindergarten, and they pretty much just pull stuff off of Pinterest to do?
good God.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the same boat. We're just gonna do what we feel like today. No curriculum, no standards.
Do I then not follow a curriculum, or should I? Sorry.
No, I'm in
And
the
are
same.
you in there supporting?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in there supporting. but like they read a book or they make a craft or, you know, it's not,
Well, it's
That's
using that
rough.
whole hands-on.
Borders.
so just where I come from, do I need to then use a curriculum or do I kind of just look at where the goals are and do like I excel and
Supplemental
reading
stuff.
programs and like
That's an
different
excellent
things to
question.
reinforce what they're doing in the classroom.
Yes.
So I don't need to go out and look for a curriculum per se.
Unless you felt it would be beneficial.
Right.
Okay.
If you feel like a curriculum would really help me through this, you could do that.
It could
But
make
if
it a
supplemental
lot
things,
easier if you have one.
Yeah.
and
Because then you'd have set dates.
have one.
Yeah, because especially if you don't know what she's
Especially since
teaching, when she's teaching, even,
Just got a whole curriculum.
yeah, even if she
But
has.
Pinterest is a great curriculum, isn't it?
Yes.
I love Pinterest. Don't get me wrong.
Right, but it's not a substitute for a curriculum for a teacher.
It's a great place to get supplemental ideas on
Yes.
how to improve the curriculum that you are, or a different way of teaching
Oh, yeah.
the curriculum, or the hands-on approach. Nancy Honeycake, how many of you have met Nancy?
We're best friends now. We got beat up together.
Love Nancy. She is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful resource.
I love you.
Mhm.
She has many books in her arsenal. I may not know where, yes, her arsenal.
She's great at giving ideas,
She's great at giving ideas.
but she's terrible at coming out and helping you implement them.
She doesn't have a lot of time.
No, she's actually teaching right now. They have her in a situation where she's teaching for 2 hours a day every other day. So her time was already pretty limited, and now it's even more limited, unfortunately.
But that's what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
you know, she'll give you ideas, but don't expect her to come out and help you put them in play.
So,
Yep, I think she is, it does
She
when
would
she's
love
able.
to be able
Yep.
to do that, absolutely. But, so maybe
She's
that-
actually doing that at the middle school with her teaching situation.
Yes. So she's a great resource for ASD and overall executive functioning, specifically when it comes to students with autism. We tapped into using her as a resource last year for a couple of our students. She's really great at giving information and links and resources for the teach method, using PECs and visual schedules for nonverbal students as well. So I just found a couple of pictures that went with the executive functioning.
When I taught a social skills class for a year, so it was totally new to me. I was just starting from scratch. Nancy would pop into my room, check out what was going on, give me ideas, compliment me, which was nice. You know, she's very good about acknowledging what you're doing well to let me know I was on the right track. But even just down to articles from the Star Tribune that she came across for hygiene stories that I could share in my social skills class. I mean, she finds it everywhere. So
Yeah.
I'd go to my desk and there'd be a newspaper article there for me.
So, and then the numbers that are on here are extensions, just so you know. So I will, again, put these slides into the links. So if you haven't had a reason to call her yet, it's 1681. Carol Sedlock, she's a great resource, even a broader resource for executive functioning. That's one of those things that are right up her alley. And then traumatic brain injury, she's also a great resource for ADHD.
Yep.
As well.
Intervention is a
Intervention.
huge part of her role. She emailed me back, and that was last night, so I'll have to go back and check to see if she asked if she could come here to learn what her role is. When I asked her, what is your title now?
Role, so it's morphing.
She said, good question, can I come to class and have you teach me? No, but then she gave me a huge list of things she does, including what Rachel said.
So we're
Intervention.
transitioning her from one role to another, and
Positive behavior intervention plans, she's very helpful with FBAs.
Yes.
She's got a lot of experience in was it setting forth?
Yes.
Yeah, she came out of the same program I did my student teaching.
Oh,
And Julie, she's been helping, or early on helped you in your program with the setup. She's done that at the high school too, helping us from nothing to
Yeah.
just,
And she's
Getting
come in and
rooms
helped
set up.
us set
Amazing
up
how many places out there are like this.
specific
You have to create it.
routine for a student of, okay, here's the schedule. The
Yes.
schedule is a tool of communication for this student, plus it tells them what's coming next and, you know, even how to work going left to right with him. You know, when you get the task, you do the task, it goes in the done pile, don't touch that until he's gone so that he can see that his done pile is getting bigger and working with, behaviorally challenged, nonverbal people. She's got tons of ideas,
yes,
so great resource, if you can catch her.
information processing.
Ooh, that's another big one too, I will
Yeah.
add that. She went to a lot of the training on that for the SLD, did she go with you?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, sensory and fine motor, you guys should probably have met your local OTs. So we have Michelle Beeler, she's out on maternity leave right now, is there anybody replacing her?
But she can't do the IEP, so.
Oh, right, but she can do the consult and check in with you and give you ideas. Dawn Spitzer is great for resources on sensory processing. We had her come out and do a brief training on brushing and pressure, deep pressure input.
She may be a little overwhelmed right now because she's picking up all those extra IEPs, just saying.
Yeah, but she just came and visited us last week, so.
Oh, awesome.
And Karen's
Karen's
boss, I know her as Griffin.
Yep.
So Karen, so if you hear Karen Griffin and Karen Boss,
I
it's
didn't know
the
that it was
same
Karen Boss.
person.
She just got a divorce.
Oh.
Just changed her name,
Yeah,
yeah.
she just changed her name back. So, again, I'll share this with you guys. She also has some great ideas on sensory input, how to come up with adaptations in the classroom to help students be more productive in the classroom.
She built
They're
a stool for one of my students.
There you
which is
go,
awesome.
yeah. I think she helped Cameron Buddy bench in one of the playground areas.
Oh, the elementary school.
Yeah. She's worked at Crossroads several times. She and I have been in the district we got married the same year.
Oh, really?
So she's they're all great resources. They're all great ladies.
Michelle's baby is beautiful, by the way.
Yes. I'll have to make her a hat.
Oh.
I'll work on
Color
that.
and shoes.
They're neighbors.
Yes. I had to wait 3 weeks because I had a cold and it just killed me.
Communication, I am sure you have met your local speech pathologist. Mm-hmm. So I just put names again and where they're at and extensions. If you have, I know like Patty Jo is really great at helping
She's amazing.
come up with, how do we integrate the communication device into the daily routine, and how do we make sure that the visual supports are there for a student, and really focusing on and working, like we had a student who, wow, she needed a lot of wait time, and there were days that we would wait her out. For a really long time.
I have one of those.
And even longer than that. But, and really helping our staff know it's okay to wait that long. It's okay to wait 5 minutes if that's what it takes for that direction, and to really encourage us to allow that processing time, even though it feels like you're not doing your job, because they're not doing anything. Well, yeah, she is. She's still processing that you asked her to put the green thing over here with the other green. Or to get up and go to the bus. So sometimes, but we can't.
20 minutes early.
I know, we did. We'd have to start, we would get her on the bus by 1:35. We started at, what time did we start at?
Oh, sometimes 12:30.
Wow.
We'd purposely get her up and get her moving, and we would do not talking. I mean, that was another thing. You know, for this particular student, it was, we need to use the sign language, we need to use the communication device, or visual aids. So, couldn't get her off the bus several times. So Rachel would have to go out to the bus, because too many people talk to her. And if you have somebody, come on, let's go, let's get off the bus. You ready? I'm waiting for you. Let's go. They're waiting. Should we go see what Dean's doing? Come on, let's go. One. And then you get her going. Okay, it didn't always work. But it works like 90% of the time. Would you say?
90 maybe a little bit high.
Alright, 85.
Had to come and get some.
Yes, we did have to have mom come and get her several times at the end of the day, but getting her off the bus in the morning, a lot of times it would take, you know, and you never know whose magic is gonna work what day, so you just have tricks in your bag. So sometimes it was a rolly chair to get her out the door.
Hey.
You're gonna do that for me tonight.
So we could at least get her to move to the rolly chair. But again, it was, you know, just what are the different ways we can communicate with her and wait her out. The processing time was huge.
I know Rachel Tennell is really good with the communication devices in the classroom too.
I haven't worked with Tessa or Jackie, but I've worked with Erica, Rachel, and Patty Jo. So, and Erica's really good. Both Rachel and Erica are good.
I work with Jackie and she's very nice, very easy to work with. Lots of good ideas.
So, I mean, they're gonna be great resources, you know, not just for the communication aspect. They can help with some of the social skills piece, because that's part of that, is that pragmatic language? Figurative language? Pragmatic. You know, so that interaction piece. Expressive and receptive language. Okay, DCD resources. Carol is good with that. Your center-based people will be good with that. So for here, it's Tara and Mickey.
A little bit of Leah.
A little bit of Leah, yes. Andrea at the middle school and Lynn. Anybody else at the middle school?
Well, we've got Raleigh and, which isn't part of, which kind of is in not a center.
I mean, you use the people that are around you for that. But we do have Boardmaker in the district. Every building should have Boardmaker, so you can use that to go and find those visual supports. Check and see where it's been loaded on a computer, but every building or program has that. Sure. Every life skills classroom should have that. So that kind of goes in with the PEX. PEX is a specific system of actually taking the picture. It's a picture exchange communication system. So, yeah. So you're taking, so like if we're going to the bathroom, you're actually taking the picture of the toilet, and there's a Velcro spot in the bathroom where they put that, and then they go to the bathroom, and then they take, you know, it's a whole specific system. When I think of PEX, we're typically using just like the visual schedule, so it's more of a visual support. How many of you have used or heard of News to You? How many of you have used the unique part of News to You? No. We have 2, 3 subscriptions to the unique part. They have online lessons. You can put it on an iPad. You can build lessons from scratch. You can use lessons that they have, and they use symbol sticks, which is very similar to Boardmaker PEX. You can create communication boards. There's a bunch of different standards that they link to Common Core or to state level standards. So that might be a good resource even for some of our lower level reading and math pieces. So we check So those are some basic DCD resources. Can anybody think of anything that you've heard of or used that you have, that I haven't said? What is the
Specific for DCD.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
I use something on the computer called,
DT trainer?
Yep,
Yep.
DT trainer.
Okay. Yep.
and then we're getting Edmark.
Edmarch, good too. I haven't used DT trainer. I know they have it here. And
Andrew uses it.
Andrea uses it, okay, they use it at the middle school. We looked at it for our program, but I don't know where that went. That it went somewhere. District-wide curriculum, especially for those like initiatives, yeah, put Anna Marie on there. Any,
like it's a.
I know. She'll be able to find any district-wide curriculum that you need. Like I was saying earlier, she would be your contact. If you can't get it in the building, she's the one to call to help you locate it. I know like Michelle Phelan needed some math curriculum to address a math standard at a different level. I said, call Anne Ray. And like within a couple days, she had a stack of curriculum for that. So,
I think I was contacting Nicole Run about that too, and she was pretty, like I had within the same day.
Yep.
So,
yep,
If they have it.
if they have it.
yep.
If they don't have it, they'll refer you to try something different.
So they'll either find that curriculum or something equivalent to it, or that would give you the same information you're looking for, or those things that you're looking for. Again, like I said, I'll add this to those link slides, so don't feel like you have to write anything down for those. Any specific questions? I know it was a really brief overview of.
I think just overall, using your resources. I think that was the hardest thing for me as a new teacher. There's so many things you're learning, and it starts to kind of all feel like it falls on you, that you need to have the answers for everything. And you've got tons of resources out there that you can't possibly have the answers for everything. So go to those people, make sure you're bouncing ideas off of them, getting curriculum strategies from them.
Email
Who's-
us.
The audio-visual guy, Nick something, right?
Nick Hadfield is our visual, he's our vision. Sarah, yes, is our hearing.
Because I asked for a tether for one of my students for running, and it's been 2 weeks.
Or I would email him.
Okay.
Next, yeah, he's
You need
coming
a
to,
leash or a tether?
Nick is coming to SFE on Thursday morning. So,
Do you know what time?
he said early morning.
Of course, you're probably at a different.
Well, because he comes to high school, like, as I'm leaving, and so I always miss him. And I'm like,
Want me to email him and say that you want to get together with him?
just want him to bring a tether.
I
I'll
would shoot him
email
an
him.
email and just say,
Okay.
hey, send me that tether.
You
Yeah.
say,
She
tell him,
She could put her dog tether away.
Helen,
Yeah, I've been missing a dog, so.
Or tell him to leave it with Megan.
that's what I was gonna say, tell him to leave it with me.
Alright, we're on to adventures.
Perfect, I will do that, thank you.
So you heard that he's coming to visit me on Thursday.
Alright.
Alright, so, yeah, not that you can see it.
I should be doing this on camera.
I could've gotten that for you.
You need some
Oh,
help?
I can do it. Yeah, we'll just make Rachel get up so that I don't have to stand.
Well, I mean, no, without standing on
I'm
it.
like, I probably could have reached it from.
The ground.
Yeah. Yep.
I could have
Alright,
too.
so Avengers Assemble, we thought was a great title for team collaboration.
Channel 4 news team. Channel 4 news team assemble.
You're ready.
That would be like, is that up there with stupid humor?
Have you seen it?
Oh.
Oh,
It has,
good.
it has Will Ferrell. Yeah, I
It's just
even
all
haven't heard
like,
of
oh,
Love the first one.
Alright. I'm gonna turn around and give you a card. You need to form a group with a K, a Q, and a J.
Oh,
What?
I can't Q and J.
A K, Q, and a J. So you can't have two Ks or two Qs in the same group.
Yeah, just what I wanted. A K.
We will need a marker.
I think it's supposed to be a J, I don't know.
I have a Q.
Who needs a J?
No, Q and a J.
That's so hard.
I got a J.
You wanna be argue?
So you need a K, a Q, and a J, and you're either a jack or a joker.
Q.
never tell you.
Buy the food?
No?
Not-
Okay, here, wait.
Okay. Alright, once you have your Q, your team of three, so a K, a Q, and a J.
You will head out to the hall.
But wait, don't move
Yep.
yet.
And you're going, there's 3 different posters out there. We'll spend, I would say, about 2 minutes at each
You want
poster.
a title on each poster?
Yes, I'll assign it to a group and maybe have a title it. Does that work?
You give directions
So
already.
where is my first group?
Here.
Alright, so you guys will be EAs. That will be your title. Second group, itinerants. Third group, general ed.
group. I know, I had.
So whatever your group is, write that heading on the top of your poster, and we can head out there now, and then I'll give the directions.
I'm gonna know.
We need a marker. Okay, we need a card?
No, not bring the other.
Cover now.
Oh, great.
Oh, thank you.
want this big one, it did not go well.
Really? Oh, really?
I'm like, I don't need anything inside. At first I wanted it in the color, so I'm like, I'm fine. Sorry, I love you, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. So regular resources.
Does anyone else have questions on different things?
Okay, switch.
It was last year's fall, September.
I've been eating that. I don't know how many times we said we were.
How much do you sell?
And she doesn't. And the student that we have is obviously the one that our teacher works really interesting how the last 2 days and he's saying that we worked with him before and knows how to use schedule and if we were to share the year in like a global I mean modeling observations and people observe another year.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Your group is carried.
Except for my first. It should be switched. We can model,
Yeah. I know. Well, I had to model the daytime and now we have to model the no talking. Julie's thinking. Yes.
Oh. We could have, let's make
Maybe you're better on your own island.
Are the EAs that
All right,
you
now
have
you guys grab your,
like just
grab your poster and bring it in.
Are they subs or they have your own?
You're actually, we had a tough time getting applicants. We have one and now one's gonna sign up for maternity.
We're supposed to be getting
I'm
another
really
one.
sad about that.
I don't know.
I don't know where she wants this.
I think that's perfect.
It doesn't hang up there. Or does it?
Oh.
Or we asked, you're better than my student.
Like if you do it.
So.
Dang
close.
think you turn them in at the end of the year, something like that.
No, I wasn't told until like I asked about problems. All right, we're gonna hang them up over here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, over there.
Come on over.
Oh, never mind, that's
I
not
was gonna
really,
say we could put over there.
but they're not really in math.
It won't stick right in there, I tried.
No, it won't stick.
I tried.
Fail. Fail. Major fail. Oh, this is not gonna do it. Yeah.
Well, we don't really need this anymore.
Nobody said anything about cornering him in the bathroom.
What? Huh? Yeah. Oh, you got that too, huh? That's pretty good.
I didn't best it out.
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
Good job,
What
Carrie.
was
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking.
Oh.
Okay.
Here, you need to reach up there.
Right?
Don't
I have this.
I still have to do my state.
Oh, I do too. Swore I was not gonna wait until
Apparently,
last
Betcha
minute.
that's why
All
you
we
are
have to
so
do,
clever.
well, no, we didn't get the email until like last week.
I got one before that.
I got one before with a whole list, and then I got one last week that said,
Oh, we have to.
I haven't gotten any.
what do we have to do?
I didn't read the email.
After I did all this.
Thank you guys for being on top of it, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Alright, so collaboration, we've got about 25 minutes left, we'll try to get you guys out of here a little early. But collaboration, a lot of that fits into what Rachel had went over with curriculum strategies. It all kind of blends. Sorry, Matt. I'm used to teaching in this classroom, and it was always like going on to the sides. And so we're really focusing today on the three different areas of collaboration with itinerants, educational assistants, general ed staff. These can be areas that are difficult to kind of navigate and figure out as new teachers or new, maybe you're not a new teacher, but new to the district.
Especially these two right here,
Yep.
EAs and general ed. Itinerants you can usually connect with, it's just,
You kind of get each other's world.
you find
Try to.
time,
Yeah.
or you email and, you know, you
Just stop
figure
in
it
once
out.
in a while, just stopping into the office, just poke their heads and everything okay. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, I find, in my world, it's this area,
General ed can be tough
can be.
too, especially with the supporting classrooms, with that being a fairly new model here. So itinerants, we'll start with that. Looks like you guys have a lot of really good ideas. How about we have each group share one of your ideas from itinerants?
We just said like daily check-in, like how they doing, how you doing. Yeah. We put that in quotes, Joey.
Joey T.
Joey doing. Can't spell Triviani.
And you're saying daily check-in from the itinerant?
Or us doing it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter, just vice versa.
Yep.
Because sometimes EAs do come to us and just be like, well, how's everything going, or we have an issue with the student type thing, but.
Another group?
Are we on EAs or itinerant?
Itinerants.
Actually, the how you doing kind of went across.
Yeah.
We did that up there.
Yep, I see that.
Our group said collaborating schedules. So like student schedules and what would work best for the student.
Okay, yeah.
We said, I think our biggest one would be observations.
And elaborate on what you meant by that.
They can observe the student to see, you know, I have an autistic kid. One of the students said to me, you know, I would want Nancy to come and observe him, and then maybe for observations, have her observe me teaching him to see if there's other strategies or tools that would work best instead of the way I do it.
Very good idea.
A lot of times they'll come back with, you're doing it right, you're going about it the right way, I really like how you did this, and then it's nice to hear that I am on the right track.
Yep, I know that's how I felt with my social skills class as a new class, and just, I felt I was winging it, it's nice to get that. I see different ways to collaborate with itinerants: email, phone call, meetings. One nice way of collaborating, for instance, Jenny has a full ASD caseload. So setting up regular meeting times with Nancy, because then they have a whole group of kids to talk about. Otherwise, it's difficult to find that time to connect. But if you know that we're going to cover these 3 kids this month, the other 3 the next month, however you want to do it, that's a good way to do it if you're fortunate enough to have a primarily one disability category caseload. Problem-solving meetings are a big one. It's getting a whole team together and bringing the itinerants in to talk about, this is our situation with this student, and just pull ideas together that way, so you're not feeling that you're on your own island, all on your own, coming up with the ideas. So different, working with different strategies, programming. What else did we talk
problem solving, utilizing them in due process meetings. I know Carol and Nancy, I really are my go-to people in ASD and OHD meetings when I'm feeling kind of at a loss. They always have a different perspective that they're bringing in. Sometimes I tend to have my list of strategies and they think outside of the box. They're not in it day to day with the student and are able to come up with new ideas. What else do we have on here? We've got having them give presentations.
Yeah, I think we had the OT come in and do a little training on brushing and deep pressure for a student that we're struggling with on a regular basis. So how do we get everybody to be able to provide the same amount of pressure, so she came in and did a presentation and demonstrated, and everybody got a chance to feel like, what does this really feel like, and why does it help some students? It gives that sensory feedback. So
yeah, you can pull them into like department meetings to go over things like that. You can pull them into, we have 1 hour EA meetings once a month. You could pull them in to go over a strategy like that with the EAs and the staff. Anything else that you guys came up, daily check-in and things to help them meeting? We did cover that one.
Google Forms, that was, what were your thoughts on the Google Forms?
I have a Google form that I use with the case managers just to maintain communication on evaluations.
Okay, so you could do a similar thing with itinerants. Or you being the itinerant, that's your way of communicating with the case manager. Gotcha, different perspective.
That's what I do. I do for regular physical education too. I'll do like an interview form and
So that's your way of communicating with case managers and general ed teachers to be able to make sure you're providing whatever they need. Perfect, good.
EAs, being that we're getting close to our ending time here, we'll focus on this one. Idea from this group for EA collaboration.
There's a lot of them. My one thing that I'm trying to fit into a schedule for one of my EAs, because she's having a difficult time with visuals and it's affecting the student. So I'm trying to figure out a time for her to go observe the other EA that works with him that uses his visuals, and it works really well.
Good idea.
And she's not using the visuals, so I mean, every meeting that we've been to, every team meeting, we've talked about it, and it's still not being used.
So now you're to the point of setting up a
I
situation
sent
model.
her an email from the autism modules video, so I sent her that to watch for the visual supports, and then I'm planning on setting up an observation for her to go watch.
Very good ideas. Those are really good examples. Because sometimes the EAs don't feel supported in getting the training that they need, and those are some really nice ways to do that. How about this group?
We added to the regular resources to help professional development, we said /training. So just getting the training that us special ed teachers even get sometimes, it definitely helps.
Do they get training in this district?
Yes. Yep, and they have EA competencies. Can you speak to that?
There's a set of competencies, I think there's probably 8 or 9, you do group 1, 2, 3, and then you keep going up. That's how EAs get their pay raises. But the competencies are all done on your own time. They're all after school. Some of them are in the evening. A lot of the EAs don't do it. You can go through a lot, and some of the competencies are actual teacher academy classes, like dealing with behaviors and stuff. Well, teachers are going to, EAs are sitting there through the class, and nothing is really pertaining to what an EA does, it's more to what the teacher is doing.
Okay.
And I've gone through almost all the competencies, and there are very few of them that actually directly apply to what EAs are doing in our district.
There are a few that are specific to
Yes.
EAs, so like.
Well, competency 1 is it's a bunch of short
Short
classes that
videos,
are
yeah.
directly related to EA. After that, you take the Teacher Academy classes. Boys Town is one that does apply,
Yep.
but there's math one. There's some other ones that
So it's hit and
really,
miss, where in your situation.
yeah, they
it
do
didn't.
not really apply to what the EAs are doing in the classrooms in special ed.
And I know that's on the list of
Right.
areas to improve, but yes.
And there are
So
30
there's-
hours that you're donating of your own time, and when it comes to handing out the raise, I mean, you've got 90 hours pretty much to get one raise.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is like
Which is,
20, 15 cents maybe?
well, it depends on if it's year for negotiations, but yeah, average maybe 20, 25 cents.
So some people just aren't seeing it.
They're not seeing the
It's,
work.
I don't,
value.
you know,
Or
especially if you have
there's-
to pay for a babysitter
Yeah, I was gonna say,
or
or
all
there's
that
single
other stuff.
parents.
Yep.
It's not worth it.
So anytime we can provide some sort of training, say in an EA meeting, like we had Dawn come in and do some training on brushing, or, I think, Amanda, your idea of having them go observe someone else who's using the strategy and it's working,
That's huge.
to see that in action is really good.
And having it be one of their peers too.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
EA
yeah.
is nice, so that
They can
it's not
really.
always, yep. Teacher to EA.
So,
I know, like, we're having the school nurse come to our next hour EA meeting to talk about tuck and carries. Is that what it's called, right?
yes.
Yeah.
About what?
I just did a brief tuck and carry training for our staff, cause
Yep,
we
I've never had to
epically
do it.
failed our fire drill last
Oh.
week, because we had one of our wheelchair students out on the mat, and, I knew 2 minutes beforehand that the fire drill was going to occur, and we had just moved everything out of the room where we knew where the tuck and carries were, so that we could address this other student, and we couldn't find the tuck and carries.
Oh.
So we had to transfer her to her chair, and then we had to take her out.
It was hanging
Sorry.
behind the door.
No, it wasn't.
It was supposed to be.
There, in my room there is, and I totally forgot that, because I was 2 doors down.
Shame on you.
But they were underneath the blue mat, all the way back at the wall. So anytime I look down there, I'm like, they're not even here. Where are they? Where did they go? And like 4 of them. So I'm like,
So it would be a good topic for one of your meetings.
We had
We
5
did.
fire drills in one day. You could-
Yeah.
Oh, I
and
know.
you would have.
we could have had, great practice with our tuck and carry.
All right, in this group, did I skip you guys, or did you say?
Nope, we said something.
Problem solving, I think, is a big one. Problem solving with an EA is that if they're seeing something that isn't working, or if they have an idea for an intervention, and really talking as a group of, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Do you guys feel like this is gonna be effective?
Yep.
That's what I had to do today, and we figured it out, so.
Good.
I
I know, it's nice to pull all of them together.
Yeah,
Who
and so.
are working with
that's what
the
I
same
did.
student to talk, see the
And all having the same
consistencies and talk
problem,
about
too.
what's working and what's not working. And
Mm-hmm, I feel
what
like,
one did you?
Celebrate them.
yeah,
I wouldn't have made as much progress in working with several of the students if I hadn't had Lynn in my corner behind me
With chocolate.
with chocolate, peanut M&Ms. Hey, don't forget this goal.
What do you do when you have an EA that thinks that she's weak and wants to put in place things when she hasn't even discussed it with me?
I would meet with the EA to talk about roles.
Yeah.
I think it can be uncomfortable, but to talk about this is my role, this is your role, and very specific training on what their role is. And if
And
that doesn't work,
Yeah.
then I would say you bring it up a level to talk with, what was that?
Go to due process.
Yes, go to due process, and if that's not working, then we would decide, okay, we maybe need to pull an administrator in or whatever it is. And hopefully it doesn't get to that level, but.
And in that conversation, I would say, okay, I like that you have some really great ideas, but you need to run them through me before we just start, because, I may have a plan of,
We
the
need to be
direction that we're
consistent.
going, because you don't have all the pieces.
Mhm.
So just kind of.
I mean, she's even overstepping the general ed teacher too.
Yeah,
So
that is not good.
it's to the point where gonna stay for him, I'm like, but you have a meeting to go to, you need to go, and I'm only his safe person. So it's very difficult to, I don't know.
Might be time to change who she works with.
Yeah, yep, that's always an option too, or if you haven't done it yet, I would do the meeting of roles for sure. Which can be uncomfortable,
One thing
but
that
if you
we
keep
tried
it in a
that,
positive.
because we have this going on a lot at the middle school, is when we have our meeting once a month for the hour, we have our agenda planned out, what we're going to get on, what we're not gonna get on, and we invite administration to come and sit in on our meeting. That way, the EAs know that we're not trying to just do things to upset them, that there is policy, there are safeguards, there are things intact that need to be followed, and we can't just all be running all over doing whatever we want.
It's gotta be a team effort.
Yeah, and so by having the administration there, it kind of sheds a new light when questions are being asked and stuff.
Okay.
That's a nice idea.
Takes kind of
Do you have
pressure off
other,
us.
like, other EAs in common with, that EA for like which students they work with?
One.
Try to pull it in as like a team effort to work as a group. This is what your roles
We've done
are.
that. We've to the point where we're his safe place. This whole school is the safe environment. There's not just one person that makes him safe. And
Yeah.
it's,
And have you worked with your due process or lead teacher on it, or is it just you up to this point?
no, it's been a mixture of a lot, because she also goes to another grade. And
Okay.
it's having kind of the same issue.
So that would
Our
be
EA
something.
evaluation.
Yep.
Well, we already did that.
came
So
out.
Yep.
we're waiting for the meeting for that.
To set a goal. I'm sure a goal will come out of that then.
Sorry, Dan.
No,
No,
that's
time
a
goal a lot
good
longer.
example. So then the 15 minutes after school is huge, I think, just to give you ideas, for how you can utilize that time. We talked about problem solving, training during that time. If you have an EA that's in like a supported general ed class with you, having that EA help with planning for those students, collaborating with the general ed teacher. We've got EAs who are with groups of students or just one student out in mainstream, and that could be, they use the 15 minutes to go connect with that teacher sometimes. Having them complete projects, student-related projects, data collection, data compiling, during that time.
We even do, there's certain things that just need to be done daily in the classroom, wiping down tables, wiping down chairs.
Daily.
I mean, even just, some of those basic, pieces. And then also, we've done a lot of file reading. So if there's a
Yes.
specific student that
That's huge.
they are working with on a regular basis, and you have specific things that you want them to read, you could pull out parts of the file for them to read, or to read up on, say they have a syndrome of some sort, like Rett syndrome, okay? We want you to read up on Rett syndrome and what that means, so that you understand why so-and-so is at the level she's at.
Yep. And if you know you're going to have a group of students next year that you have this year, even in the spring, if you've got some extra time, just getting folders ready of things, because fall is crazy when school's starting. Folders to just have ready to go, that this is what you can at least start to read for the start of the school year. Sometimes if you don't have it ready at the start, it doesn't happen until a few weeks in. And then as far as general ed staff, we'll just jump to that and take one idea from each group, maybe? Over here.
So, collaborating with plans for with students. So, with a lot of my students, all right, let's collaborate a plan that's gonna make it work for her. So I have a student who has to do alternate testing, and me and the teacher talked about what kind of testing would benefit her the most, and her goals, and where she's going and where she's at, so collaboration.
Working together to
Yeah. Create a plan.
meet needs. How about the middle group?
We said go with our PLCs. that's something that the high school is doing, so we kind of just split up, so one or two will go to English, one will go to math, so on, so we can come back to our main PLC and just be like, this is what we've done, or this is what they're doing right now, and different things like that.
I'm excited to see how it goes for us, because I think that's a really nice way to get ourselves out there and be blended in with general ed. And how about you guys?
I think it's nice, sometimes it fills up my emails, but, the kindergarten teachers, they send me the peak of the week of what they are doing in the classroom, so that I just have an idea if I need to,
Nice.
yeah. They send it out to the parents anyway, so they just
That's
put
really
me in
nice.
it, and I can see what they do.
Take some time, finish reading up that list, since we're close to the end, we could go on longer, but we won't keep you.
But we will have you do your plus deltas.
So the next two classes, like we said, next class, bring data sheets with you so that we can talk about starting to compile that data, and what that would look like for progress reports. So if you've got like a binder, yeah, bring that whole binder with you. We're gonna be talking about how to pull it all together, give you some examples of progress reports, and then we'll give you time to start compiling what you have up to this point. And then the next class will be just a continuation of that, actually like writing progress reports. So that Rachel and I are here as you guys are working to answer any questions you have, help you out with wording. kind of
We'll
help
send an
coach you
email
through it.
reminder about that too.
Yeah. So that's our next two classes are going to be a lot of work time, so that you're not cramming as much at the end of the trimester for progress reports. And then we've got one class left after that.
So our makeup is the 9th, right?
Makeup is March, so the
Oh, I thought
9th
it got
is a
moved.
class day.
That was CPI training got moved, or a makeup.
Oh, I thought we moved ours from like March to November, no?
The makeup day is, the same makeup day for every class, has that same makeup day. So December 9th is our last day.
The 8th?
The 8th, December 8th. I don't remember where I had that makeup day.
Cause I have that we did a makeup.
January 12th, sorry. Makeup session, if school is canceled, is January 12th. I don't have the actual makeup day on here.
Well, I
The
wrote
makeup
down,
day on the sheet is March 9th.
There you go.
but I wrote down November 9th. We didn't switch it, did we?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
No.
That's good in my book. Then I don't have to.
So I can just bring random stuff to work on then? Set up progress report?
Yeah.
So 10 and 17 are the next two classes, November 10th and November 17th. Fill out your plus deltas, you can drop them off on the front table here, and we can clean up our
She got somebody to write those down, those are good to.
I know,
Let's
let's
to
keep
have.
those, Rachel. Pick them up and,
pictures of them.
yeah, it's a better idea. Thank you. I know you like your paper, but. I don't need to add that to my office. Gives me all the little.
Okay, my PDS, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm gonna change it a little bit, so, cause I think it might be easier to flip it on it. And it's basically gonna be, it's the same student, cause mine was gonna the continuation device.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be now transition.
I've had like
So
I
I'm
know,
gonna start making
this morning, I'm like.
You're gonna start making.
And I had
visuals of like my things and like all the other services that she goes to.
So I had to be here
So
and I
then we were like, I had my homepage and then go,
He's on that social
and then I was thinking,
I'll get
thank you. And then she'll hear the and then it's gonna contact me for the struggle that's over here.
Is this your bag?
Yes.
You don't want this then, you get you?
And then after she gets her paperwork, she has to get that. And then you get
All yours.
Keep getting in your way.
I know. Get out of here.
Yep, and then.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I think we pretty much did like.
I know. That was like the perfect idea.
Anybody?
Great, thank you.
There's still a few pieces left. Let it know.
That's no, I can't do it.
Good night, you guys.
Take it away. Take it all away.
Okay, so I was setting up this
Gotta say no.
prompts that she's like, oh, no, we need to turn this way.
This
That's
makes
one
sense.
prompt she made us. She made an error. Good, thank you. No, I'm good, thank you. What's fine, Nadine? Anyway, so, yes or no, did she get there? And then how many prompts? And gradually I wanted to be no prompts, her do it by herself.
Yep, one of the girls was gonna grab, so that you're not too
Like
long.
I said, so she gets the card, goes to the room.
I agree, I have to run downstairs for a sticky note on the door.
Thank you.
Hannah, I forgot I had a meeting, I'll bring the girls to the game. Or cheese practice.
Are we gonna do another one of these next time for the potluck?
We should.
So I'm gonna be done, and you reword it.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm bringing plates and napkins.
Yeah, then
Silverware.
once you've
So
reworded it,
don't,
send it to
just
me
put
and
my
she
name down
will
for that, because I'm bringing that.
Okay. Over the phone.
How easy is that?
Perfect.
I know, the whole car ride thing, make sure you go before that. Nothing worse than like barely getting in the house.
Do we have garbage big enough for this somewhere?
Last time?
Or the times that I'm like, oh, I'll be fine.
I'll be good.
If it is.
Get in the car and you're like, oh.
It's too far to go back.
Just bring it home.
I'm still parked, but it's too far.
Yet it would be better than driving all the way home and almost.
Actually, 20 minutes. Alright, I have a question about next.
So who's playing inappropriate music?
We're working on it.
Oh yeah, we haven't even started.
Yeah, okay.
It is like Room 5 and like, it's like way
That hasn't even been done.
super
Yeah,
inappropriate
don't
on
even
like
worry
work
about it.
skills, so.
elementary level, like holy
Wow.
crap.
If they can't change, can.
I think I walked in one day and I'm just like,
We'll figure that out for sure
Yeah.
because like when we first had it scheduled, they were scheduled
They could
correctly.
be.
How old is the teacher?
oh, he is probably in his late
Their
40s.
anxiety is with him and stuff.
And
He's thinking it's okay.
Yep. No, the plan is to get them in.
Relate to mine.
So we had it that way, they lost the schedule, so
Yeah.
that's when we said we're just gonna do first try.
Yeah.
so they take the whole crowd of students. And so,
Try to schedule.
Yep, tell them it's not done, as hard as that is.
Yeah, and I said, this is a rough draft, this is what's here, this is not.
And I don't believe you can
complete.
consider a rough draft.
Yeah.
Because they could be which probably don't wanna comment totally.
Yeah, I said, you know what, this is not set in stone.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
So I said,
Interesting.
That's,
And I told them.
in my mind, that's the biggest priority is
I was,
areas.
and he, so I,
It's not always.
today was the first day I went in his
But
equipment room.
it,
Yeah.
we made it work pretty well this
A
time.
tunnel for my obstacle course. Oh, you should
twice a week.
should come and see it tomorrow, I'll have it all set up.
But I feel like
With
this
a little
will
mini
be
how
how
we
we
have
are-
to go for it
I
today.
mean, Carson is.
He, I could not all the equipment he had in his room.
So,
And
and
I'm
we'll
just
talk
like,
about
yeah.
scheduling, or at least,
Thinking to
for
myself,
the department
yeah.
meeting, how I said I'm gonna put a lot of writing. Some of it will be in writing, for you guys to read where we're at, we'll talk a little bit about it at the department meeting tomorrow. But in 2 weeks, I'm scheduling first, with the counselors,
Mini
in the
trampolines.
meantime, I'm gonna be working with you
Yes.
guys to group kids that were
Apparently the guy before like
counselors.
totally was like an equipment hog.
Speaking of equipment, I
Yeah.
noticed that a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff that was in that one room got moved out. and
Yep,
now it's
that was our
upstairs.
goal.
You did it?
I did it today, I have
But
to
we
I just
never,
haven't had the time to move it
Yeah.
back, so.
it was just, oh,
It was awesome. I went in there,
Not
there
really
was a
blown
rocking
up,
chair
but
and
if she,
Like,
that's
I
okay.
don't have a ball pump, so if somebody has time, they can go pump it up.
Mhm.
I do not.
I do not.
so they,
Thank you for doing it.
they.
Oh, yeah.
understand
They
each
can
other.
understand each other.
Yeah, I've worked with Nicole, I'm like, okay, maybe you could say this, maybe you could.
Yeah, it's fine. This is not making trouble.
Yeah.
I told him, you can take the fifth hour and I can talk to him.
And really, at that point, it's just a
Too
bad
much.
mix.
Yeah, it is. Ah, how many more?
like the social skills class that I used to teach, that was ASD
Do you-
mixed.
Do we still teach a social
Horrible
skills?
idea. No, and we quit teaching it because there were a few years that we didn't have like a big enough need for a full social skills class. Because what we were finding is I had this group, we narrowed it down to this group of ASD students who could verbatim tell me everything they've learned their entire life.
Wow.
You know, so we're like, then we're throwing them in a class where they're pissing each other off and driving each other crazy.
And hating the
Really,
idea of having social skills.
We need to get them out and apply it in
Social
actual
skills are amazing,
settings.
what are you talking about?
So that's why we're trying the org /
Class was
social
the hardest
skills.
class.
Oh,
And that's really what my social skills class was. I turned it into an org / social skills.
Okay, cool.
Because
That's
they,
what I didn't say.
yeah, because they have that executive functioning piece as well.
That is by far the hardest class, social skills.
Yet it was like the most memorable year of my teaching
social
career.
skills.
Oh my god.
And I love
So many funny
teaching
stories.
Do I need to talk about it?
Yeah,
Next box down.
I'll observe my class, and hopefully you'll observe it.
This
I
one.
would love to.
Keep scrolling down.
And she's like, oh.
That one.
This can.
Really?
Yeah. I just should get use up for my class.
I had a student who always screamed about his flatulence. He was a very big high school boy, and he would go up the hallway and scream about his flatulence in this hall with all of the English classes. The reason this room is here is because of that student.
I have
So
to
that
wipe
he could
myself.
take his breaks in the stairwell. That was the only
I need to
thing.
wipe myself.
So we moved down there to that guy.
Well, I mean. So, yeah. In my class. So, and then my
Can anybody ever turn the camera off?
Also goes down there.
Her and
No, we're yelling about flatulence.
Flatulence. Oh my god.
Her and Kim Gunton